All right. It's me, Robert Phoenix, and I'm back with the Astro Weather. The reason I'm laughing is because we have a representative of the Lionsgate right here, the little princess of the Lionsgate. That's right, Miss Peachy. And what is she doing? She is attacking my earbud cable cord. Yes, you got my attention, you little lion gator. Yeah, you little lion gator. How is everybody? Are we uh are we having fun yet? Are we having fun yet? I know our good friends over in England are not having a lot of fun. Man. Tomorrow, on the Friday Farcast, I'm going to have a very interesting guest. We connected through Twitter. His name is, he goes by the name of Gaza Robson, and he's got a really fascinating story. He basically went from a football hooligan to a PhD and becoming an expert on things like the surveillance state and panopticons and virtual prisons. And uh, so we're going to spend 2 hours with him tomorrow. And he's no longer in England. He now lives somewhere in Central Europe because at a certain point in time, he just couldn't handle the psychological oppression that was getting turned up. So he's going to be with us tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to the show. Really, really. I mean, just his story alone. Apparently, he was part of like the most notorious hooligan club, and then does this 180, right? And then everything that he externalizes, he internalizes, and very interesting. So he'll give us, I think, some much needed insight into the state and the condition of England as it is today from a perspective that's a little bit removed, but very in touch. So I hope you join us tomorrow right here on the 11th house for what is I promise you, it's going to be a fascinating interview. And if you're from England or Ireland, and Scotland, anywhere, Wales, anywhere in that area, you're going to want to watch it because I think the man's going to bring a heavy duty dose of, gamma rays of the whole thing. All right, so let's get into who's here, and I have a very special birthday song wish today, which I'm going to address as soon as we go through addressing each and every one of you, which is what we do here. And I know people saying, "Well, why don't you just get to the astrology? Just do the astrology. You waste so much time talking to people." I like talking to the people. They're my friends. It's the 11th house. I don't have any real life friends. You're my friends. That's not true. I do have real life friends, but it's also true that you're my friends too. All right, let's see. You know what? I got a good night's sleep last night, so I'm in a good mood today, and I'm on my second cup of coffee. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Where's Michael? Uh-oh. 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 Yeah, he's not batting lead off today. All right. Who is? It is Padrita Pebbles, also known as DJ Pebbles, who will be DJing here in October at our event. Let's see. She says, totally can relate to what you pointed out on the show yesterday. Since AI have arrived, since I have arrived here, you have AI have arrived here. Is that the AI version of yourself? Have arrived here. I'm holding tight to not lose my shit. Patience is out the door for real. All you got to do is cue up the message by Grandmaster Flash and let that be your sonic mantra. Don't touch me because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. And less than a month away from my birthday. It's been a heavy astral inferno. Yeah, we can't wait to see you. Mary Lee, hope you're doing well. And your ticker is ticking like a champ. Wallace, Trump presser today at Mar-a-Lago. Wonder what he will drop. You know, people have been asking, like, what's going on with Trump? It feels like that there's no campaign happening. Like he's kind of gone a bit radio silent. I think this is a byproduct of the GOP. There are people that are saying that the GOP do not want Trump to win. Can you believe that? I can believe that. And that they're not throwing themselves behind him because the GOP is involved in, it's not just the Trump team or campaign, but the GOP is involved in funding and doing all these other ancillary things so that whoever the presidential candidate is the beneficiary of that. And that's not happening with Trump. Not this go round. So it'll be interesting for sure. Liddy Lou from hot sunny McKinney. I finally have relief in my back, knees after the injections. Oh, good. Glad to hear that. T. Jordan in the house. Sharon Lewis, morning has broken. Hi, beautiful people. Hi, beautiful Sharon. I'm listening. Yes. Quoting Racer Kelsey Grammer this morning. Screen is a bit bright to read a bit. Hello, all. Okay, hello back. Our man Seeger checks in. Good day to all cyanic harvest plots. Vote consensus for a steadily managed decline. Oh, my God. It's classic. Christina Jerzik, CJ, what's happening? Happy Lionsgate to you. Mood Sprout. Green Eyed Crow. Checking in from Smoky, Utah. Sue Leonard, she's with us. My man Ryan from the great state of Pennsylvania. Don't anybody tell you any different. Jackie Delario, the Empress of South Jersey. Road Trip 1981. What's going on, Darlie? Good to see you. The lovely and talented one, saving Austin one tooth at a time. Yes, please come join us on Locals. I just put up a rather controversial chart. I may have to replace the graphic because Astro.com does this weird thing with their charts. If you just grab the chart from the website, it doesn't really translate very well in terms of like clarity and focus. But if you, there's a little trick for it, which I learned. What they want you to do is they want you to sign up for their PDF, their PDF service. So everything you download from it is PDF. Anyway, I'm going to replace the chart, but 2 days ago, I wanted to talk about JonBenet Ramsey. It's a brutal chart, just a brutal chart. And I couldn't really say what I wanted to say here on this platform because the ghost of Alex Jones is and Sandy Hook is kind of banging in my brain. So I have a new post up there about the chart of JonBenet Ramsey, and that's kind of an exclusive. So join Locals, and that content today was for everybody, and it always helps if you become a supporting member. Thank you, Ryan. Nor Rashid, the queen of speed. Hay feed, water feed, hay. I put the minerals where the goats couldn't shit in them, and now the chickens are. Ugh. I got to run back to the barn for quick repair. The joys of homesteading. There's never a dull moment. You can buy me a cup of coffee over there at Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. Since this channel has been demonetized since the 2010s, I'm kind of proud of it. Sandra Jack Shaw in the house. What's up, SJS? Good to see you. It is Thursday, so we got a Lionsgate and a Thursday. How about that? Green Eye Crow. It's also my grandson's first birthday, Odin. Oh, you're okay. So Odin is born on 8/8, and he's having his first birthday. By the way, did you know today is 888? You do the 2024, you get an 8 out of that. 888. Triple infinity. Triple infinity. This is the day we changed the script. You remember last year when we did our little Lionsgate thing? And a lot of people came back and said it was the worst day they had. I'm like, oh shit. All right, maybe we should be less hands-on today and let the lion roar versus telling the lion how to roar in our lives. But so there's this gal who we used to have on, and she'll be back again on Serious Sports, Gracie, who's a really interesting person. And she did this post on Twitter about where the Lions Gate actually is. And if you look at it, it's like in the anus of the lion, right? I mean, it's kind of funny in some ways. And I said, well, last year we had this little experiment on my show during the Lionsgate, and it makes sense because everybody had a shitty day. So happy birthday to Odin. Scott Jerzik is here. Hello, Scott. Good to see you. Nuzzle for victory. Today is my sister's 69th birthday. How about that? Well, here's to your sister. Go ahead and demonize me. It is a green cola. No sugar, no calories, no preserves, no artificial sweeteners or flavors. And it is powered by the green coffee bean. Meowgical Catacorn. Oh, yes, please come join us. We're going to have a great time this year. Mario from Symbolic Studies is coming, and he's man, he's so good. I did a show with him. I gotta put that up on my channel. It's a really good show. Although I think it was a little coarse for Mario. It was really weird. It's like I had when I was on with Danny Katz, but that shows up by the way as well over on Danny's channel. And at the end, I started to we got into this conversation about Sylvester Stallone. And I've never seen Rocky. And Danny's never seen Rocky. The only Rocky film I saw was the one with Ivan Drago, right? And I watched it because there were some younger people involved who wanted to see the movie. I didn't really feel like seeing the movie. So I came along for the ride. And I thought it was kind of ridiculous. So other than that, I've never seen any Rocky movies. And I don't really like Sylvester Stallone. And as Danny and I talked, she used to wait on tables in LA. And she said he was the worst customer, diner, whatever. He would hold meetings at the restaurant all day. So he'd tie up all these tables, right? And one of the things that they were told was not to look him in the eye. Now, you'd be surprised how many celebrities have this on their, like, either a formal request or on like a flyer where they do concerts. Some of you may be familiar with the musician Lorena McKennitt. I actually saw her at the Masonic Theater in San Francisco, right across from Grace Cathedral. She had a great band. Danny Thompson, the great bass player, double bass player, was on bass. Carolyn Lavelle. What was she playing? I think she might have been playing harp. Anyway, or No, she wasn't playing harp. Um, anyway, Lorena McKenna's flyer was anybody backstage could not look at her. Like, what is up with that? Don't look at me. Anyway, I was talking about Jackie Stallone, and she was an astrologer. And eventually she got into reading butts. She was a butt reader. And somewhere in my brain, I kind of crossed that with this Robertson Davies book. And I was like, oh, I think she was reading anuses. Well, I was close. I was close. But earlier the week, I was talking about like these guys, like, so Mario asked me about like Israel, right? And this whole thing. I said, well, they've got Uranus on their sun right now, and will be for like the next year. And then I got into this story about the prisoners that were being held, the Palestinians, and were being raped. And like that's a real thing. They talked about this. Like they had this little. If you watched Friday's show with Russ, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I said, you know, Taurus is the root chakra, right? And Uranus is in Taurus. So, and I said, and their sun is in the 8th house, right? Which is occulted and dark and sometimes a little kinky. And so I added it all up and I basically said, yeah, there was something darkly celestial going on with anuses. And I think Mario was a little shocked by it. Like, well, I really like to keep things at a higher, and God bless him, right? Because I will go into the abyss, right? And he brought it back up to this, 40,000 foot view. So thanks, Mario. Thank you for pulling me out of the astrological gutter. I appreciate that. Let's see. Lisa Ann White, the law is in the house. I'm enjoying the Prime Rock timeline where Peter Green never went bonkers. Jeff Beck joined the Floyd. And the Who made Lifehouse. I like that. I like that. Man, the whole thing with Fleetwood Mac was just really weird. Like Peter Green goes bonkers, and then when they're touring in California, Jeremy Spence joins the Children of God. You know how that happens, right? They had these women called the Flirty Fishers. So he got seduced sexually. That's how they would get members. They had these Flirty Fishers. Swear to God. And he got hooked. Jeff Beck joined the Floyd. Much better choice than David Gilmour. And the Who made Lifehouse. I'm not the biggest Who guy, but that'd be interesting. Tessa D777. She's here. Look at that. We got a Tessa sighting. Morning, Tessa. Joe Potter. KZ Gypsy Muse. Sounds like no, you're going to want to watch this for sure. Laura E. from Down Under. Hello, Laura. Oh, host just lurking. Big Dave Sullivan's here. What's up, Dave? Moira. From Soggy Big Apple. When I think of a Soggy Big Apple, I think of like a soft apple, one of those mealy apples, or it's not even soft. It looks like it could be a really good apple, and you bite into it, and you're like, really disappointing. I never liked those apples. Jason Talbot, greetings. Greetings. Oh, look who we have here. We got a Ren Star sighting. Look at that. Hi, Ren. Good to see you. Bonnie Lancy. Oh, the lurkers are coming out today. It's the light. The light. They want to bathe in the light. Scrubbies. Hey, Tamara. Look at this. That's right. That's right. You were a longtime lurker, and then you jumped in. Rainbows and butterflies. Lives Outdoors is here. Tree. Good friend Teresa from the Inland Empire. Always happy to see her. Yes, tomorrow, please join us. Gaza Robson. You're gonna I'm really psyched to have him on as a guest. Broken glass everywhere. People peeing in the streets like they just don't care. That's right, Green Eyed Crow. Atlantis Rising, greetings. JD Vance trolled Harris yesterday here. I, I thought that was kind of a gangster move. It was kind of a gangster move. There are some people that, oh, it's so Bush. It's like he's bullying her. No, she's not going to answer any questions from the press. Good move, JD. Ditch the purple tie, though, please. Please ditch the purple tie. We question your allegiance when you wear the neck noose. Yes, you can get a reading from me. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. Janine is here. Hi, Janine. Good to see you. Let's see. Melissa Stanton. Awesome background. Did you say that? Ah, yes. I spent a lot of time online last night trying to find this, and I found it. Oh, this needs some salted chocolate. Can somebody send her some? Can somebody grub her? I wish I had one of those pneumatic tubes. I could just put some salted chocolate right into your pneumatic tube. As the retrograde started, the sun and Leo moved over my south node, now visiting my old home in Tom's River, reuniting with old friends. Caught COVID up here too. Wow, that I love stuff like that. Whether it's intentional or unintentional, doesn't matter. I love stuff like that. Mary Grether's here. Hi, Mary. Carly. Jimmers 233. Buy him a pint of Victory Gin. Yeah, demonetized before it's cool to be demonetized. Look, Tessa, my channel never got monetized. Tessa and I are old school. We're old school. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I've had Tessa on my show before. Tessa, you need to we gotta get you on the show again. So give me a call. Like Tom, there's my number in the chat. Give me a call, Tessa. Let's get you back on the show and catch up with you. It's been too long. Tessa was at one point in time the muse of Philip K. Dick. That's right. They were married. And we've talked about Phil quite a bit. In fact, one day, I think it was on Phil's birthday, we broke out his chart and looked at it. Angie 808, it's my birthday today. Okay, Angie, you're gonna be folded in to another birthday today. So the choice of birthday music is actually for the other person, but I hope you enjoy it as well. So you're on the bus. Let's put it that way. Okay. All right. You guys are too interesting today. I just read chat all day. Rocky is actually a love story. Tessa, I like that. It is. It is a love story. Although I'm not crazy about Coppola's sister. Isn't that who it is? Coppola's sister. Yeah. But you're right. Oh, this is good news. Our legal Janine, Google lost a big lawsuit this week. That part of it is the way they treated YouTubers. Bullshit. This is bullshit. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, that rat hole. Julie Sunshine, it's her day. Look at that. Lion lady. TDF. Dig Gracie. Gracie's really cool. I really like Gracie a lot. And okay. I know a secret about Sylvester Stallone. I can't say here what's in his pants has been added to. I think he just kind of did. Healing Heart Rosie. Green Eye Crow. I like reading butts, and I cannot lie. We are in a jocular mood today. I love it. I had lunch one time with Sir Mix-a-Lot. Okay, who else do we have? Paul Clark. You mentioned Jeff Shepard spelling, having a good podcast. Okay, Paul. So the spelling for Jeff is Geoff. And Shepard, I believe, has an A between the P and the R. Now, a good podcast. I'm not sure if he has a good podcast, but he has very good videos about talking about Nixon and Watergate, and he has good books. So I do recommend his website. Let's see. Hey, we got a Jake sighting. What's going on, Jake? Good to see you. The Puma 7.1 hits Japan. Uh-oh, we got a seismic sighting. You know, when the Ring of Fire starts to bump, you'll see cycles of quakes along the Ring of Fire. I was really into tracking earthquakes back in the 2010s. I spent a lot of time doing that. And it's like I used to go to the USGS, but you can see it, right? So more than likely the next quake will be somewhere in Alaska, which has been known to have pretty large quakes. So we had Southern California, and then usually they actually happen in literally a ring, right? It'll go Southern California, it'll go Chile usually, then to Japan, and then to Alaska. I would say keep an eye on Alaska next. Hope Robert is okay, but then Mercury is retrograde. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good. Jason Talbot's here. Let's see. We're getting caught up. Cookie Van Dusen. The lurkers are out. Little lurkers are out. I love it. I love it. The Lionsgate brings the lurkers out. Yeah, Tessa, give me a call. We'll set it up. Let's see. Kelly B, it's not my birthday today. Yeah, we already jumped the gun on that one. Let's see. I don't see a phone number. Tom, can you put the website phone number in the chat, please, for Tessa? Thank you. 7.1, no bullshit. That's a big fucking earthquake. Kabuki Theater is here. Hi, Bo. Barbara Boots, good morning. Slept in this morning. Shame on you, Barbara. Shame on you. Up with the dawn. Still Light is here. Sigurd, original Rocky is pure social realism, but the sequels are all postmodern media slop for various reasons. I like that. That's a good breakdown. Quake era Robert. All right. You might get it. You just might get it. All right, let's get on with the show. Thank you all for being here. I've had a blast. I look healthy. Thank you. I got a good night's sleep. It's amazing. I went to bed at 11 o'clock last night. And I have to say, it makes a difference. And we are behind the 8 ball time-wise. But we've managed to accomplish many things here. Before we go into this, I have to wish Paula Dillon a happy birthday today. Paula listens, I think, on a daily basis from Ireland. And her husband hit me up on Twitter and said, could you give her a shout out? Pat, we're going one better than a shout out. So this is for Paula and the other people who are experiencing a birthday today. Now, This was specifically chosen for Paula, and it's a little corny, a little campy, but nonetheless, I think it's fitting. This is the Irish happy birthday video jig. Here we go.
It's your birthday! Today's your birthday. Today's your birthday. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. Today's your birthday. Today's your birthday. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate this day. Let's celebrate. Today's your birthday. Today's your birthday. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate this day. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate this day.
All right. Happy birthday to Paula and every other 8-8er out there. The 8-8er Club. There we go. All right. Let's do the weather. Let's do the weather. Let's do the weather. Okay. How's everybody been doing with the critical nature? The critical nature of this Mercury retrograde and this Venus and Virgo squaring off against Mars and the Uranus. It was really interesting. So got into a conversation, kind of DM on Twitter with my guy Osiris. Shout out to Osiris. And he asked me something about something I had said. And then his reply was, I would say, challenging and in a good way. And I thought about what he had to say, which I won't get into, but I thought about what he had to say. And I said, fair point. Let me think about this. And I took about a day, maybe 2 days to respond to it. And then I responded to it because I had to really sort through what I was going to say. And I responded to it in the most, I would say, well, the most honest way that I could. And part of that was for me addressing something that was a bit of a blind spot. And it's a blind spot born out of a certain prejudice for a certain style of astrology. And I admitted that. And then that comment or that reply sparked a really fantastic conversation. Right. So even when, and I'm sharing this because even when we run into this idea that something can be critical or criticized, right? Especially now with this sun at 16 and sextile Mars and Jupiter, right? It was like, okay, this isn't a kind of a seismic event in that DM. I'm like, oh, wow, I have to look at this, right? I have to look at what he's putting on the table. And I think if we're really honest with ourselves, we have to, we have to adopt that stance. If we don't adopt that stance, then we're not growing. Now, I could have said, dude, you're way off the mark. You're missing it. And if I felt that, I would have. But I thought, there's something in here that I need to look at. So let me formulate this. And what it did is that it expanded the ability to communicate, right? It was a really fascinating example of being kind of locked in this Mercury retrograde clusterfuck and then not getting caught in a cul-de-sac. And then this is exactly what I was talking about, finding this other path, which is much more expansive. And then, of course, with Mars and Gemini, it was like lots of rapid communication, covering lots of ground. It was really interesting, really, really interesting. So we're still here, right? And it's only going to get more intense, right? Now we've got I would say about 5 days worth of the sun as it begins to separate from Jupiter. Mars will kind of keep up a little bit. 5 days from now, Venus will be at 9 degrees, and then it's going to get closer into that square with Mars, Jupiter. So this dynamic is still going to be in play, right? It'll still be in play. You could these two things are not mutually exclusive, is what I'm saying. Right? You can go through and agree or disagree or reevaluate, and then if you're having an honest conversation with yourself, right, with yourself first of all, then you can peel off into that sextile and go, oh wow, look at this, right? So it's not like this is bad and then this is good, right? That's really binary. What we're trying to do is we're trying to, at least for me, like I want to move. Look, I'm okay with binary sexes. I'm okay with binary sexes. I'm okay with XX and XY. I'm cool with that, right? But in terms of how the world has been fractaled off into this Gemini existence, the black and white of the Masonic checkerboard and all that, I'm not into that, right? I'm into, figuring out what that third option is because we have been corralled into this kind of binary existence. And I brought this up with Emily one day when we were doing a show. And I said, it's interesting. It's what they did is they took all the myriad of choices out of reality. And then they made reality binary, right? Black, white, left, right, straight, queer, like just all these binary choices for reality. But when it came to gender was no longer binary. Gender was, well, you got about 50 choices now, right? So they inverted this whole, they being the social engineers, inverted this whole thing. And it's like, okay, we have Trump and we have Harris. All right, well, where's that midpoint? Where's the third angle? And not to say that if I had to choose between Trump and Harris, I've always said this, I'll take Trump because he's inherently chaotic. And give me somebody who's inherently chaotic. He's also funnier than Harris. Harris is unintentionally funny, but Trump is funnier. I'll take funny and inherently chaotic and uninherently chaotic any day. So the dynamic is still going on. But let's look at it in terms of this whole idea of the Lionsgate, right? Let's take the sun at 16 and just open it up, right, with Jupiter here at 14. Of reality, and it gets us beyond the duality. Gemini is duality. Gemini is internalized duality. Libra is externalized duality. And Aquarius is the resolution of both. Do you get that? I know you do. Today, the moon is in Libra. Thank God. And we can be balanced, just, and fair. And it's opposed Neptune. Put on your rose-colored glasses today, just for a day. Fuck the doom. Put your rose-colored glasses on for a day. Trust me. That other world will be here tomorrow. It'll be here tomorrow. But for today, put on your rose-colored specs. Nice grand trine as well. Look at that. Moon coming in, trining Pluto. And of course, because we're at the end of Uranus and Taurus, well, not the end of it, but the latter degrees, mathematically they work. We got a nice kite pattern happening. Neptune sitting on top of it all. Yeah, I like it. I like the Moon Pluto trine as well today. How would I describe that? I think it's one of those days where fairness, justice, and balance went out. That's what I think. I would say, don't be put in a box. Don't don't be put in a pen. Moon Uranus trine. It's all about being kind of a free agent and whimsical, and there's also like good natured trickery with the Moon Uranus trine. It allows the emotional body to loosen up and play a little bit, right? We're in Leo, and when we're young, we're Leo. We're in the fifth house, and we learn how to play. That's our first form of socialization. At least it used to be. Now, now it's all online, which is really sad. But that's how we grew. That's how we formed. And in most cases, we had marvelous times. We had absolutely marvelous times, and there weren't a lot of people around to judge us or you know kind of put the paper handcuffs on us, right? So this is one of those days. Learn through play, and the Libra moon is pretty kind, considerate, fair. It does come in and conjunct Black Moon Lilith and the South Node. I don't think these are huge deals, right? If anything, you'll probably be able to experience imbalance, maybe not in your life, but in other people's lives. You can say, "Oh my God, that person is so out of whack," right? They're so imbalanced. It's not a judgment; it's just an observation. I think the potential for psychic insights right now is really high with Pallas at 22 Scorpio. It's in that third decan of Scorpio. So now it's in the Cancerian decan and it relates to the home. So if you are feeling instinctual about where you live and what you need to do there, and you look into the future and you say, I should probably do this. I should probably do this. It might be a good idea for me to have about another 100 gallons of water on the side. You may want to listen to that. Just saying. Saturn is in conjunct the sun, and we're going to have this in conjunct over the next couple days. Right, and it's almost like there's this battle between the two kind of organizing principles in the solar system, and it's not a direct battle though. It's kind of this indirect. It's kind of this indirect. That's what I'm looking for. This indirect disconnect that's trying to get reconnected. Does that make sense? All right. So I'll give you kind of a social or collective version of this. And even though she is not solar in the sense of like male or whatever, to me, the Saturn Sun in conjunct is like Trump versus Harris. Right. Trump is Saturn. He's older, and Harris is younger. What everything of Harris, she's younger, right? So there's this thing lurking in the background about age versus youth and vitality. And it'll be interesting to see what Trump brings to the table at Mar-a-Lago. That Jupiter is starting to get real close to his sun. So it's also getting close to Harris's ascendant. This is going to be a really interesting election season, whatever you think of it. So to me, this is all about age and youth, age and youth, age and youth, and jockeying for position in a lot of ways. And for you individually, it's like play, have fun. No, you got to do this. Play, have fun. No, you got to do this. Play, have fun. No, work. Right. So how do you reconcile it? Get your work done. Go out and play. All right. Let's do the star of the day, as we are way behind since I had such a good time hanging out with you guys this morning. Today's star of the day is, to me, is it's an interesting one. And let me get my banner up, and I'll switch over there. There we go. So first of all, this segment of the show is sponsored by True Hemp Science. And True Hemp Science, let's see, what do I want to do today? Today I'm going to do since it's the Lionsgate, I'm going to do the Solara today, which is number 19. It's the new and improved version of the 19, which I have been taking. And this is for focus and clarity. And this is 1,000 milligrams of CBDG and CBD. So I'm going to take that right out. You can see that amber kind of color there under the tongue. I have to say, now listen, this was really good. This was medicinal. I didn't mind it. It felt like, oh man, this must work, right? This is the same, but better, and also a bit more refined. So I'm not paying respects to the medicinal potency of it. You can get all that and more at shroomscience.com. All you got to do is go there, type in 15MINS when you spend $100 or more, and you would get a free goodie bag, and you get these little, tiny couple shotters and a few other things. Like, it's worth it. $150 more gets you free shipping, and there's always a 30-day money-back guarantee. All right. Roger Federer. And this is somebody who, Emily's really into tennis, and she loves Federer. And I think, we've done a couple shows on Federer and Novak Djokovic, and some of these other like the Spanish guy whose name escapes me right now, Rafael Nadal. So we've done a couple shows on these guys. And Federer is retired now, which is interesting. He's born in 1981. And, I try to find people in their charts. I try to find them in their charts. And I'm like, what makes Roger Federer great? What made him be so dominant when it comes to tennis? And I was expecting, because a lot of times with athletes, you'll see like Mars Jupiter trines or Mars Saturn trines, and they work really hard at their craft. There's something in the chart that says, okay, this guy's got the juice. I don't see it in Roger Federer's chart, and I have to be honest. I look at his chart and I'm beguiled by his chart. Now, Virgo rising, there's going to be attention to detail. We know that. We know there's going to be attention to detail. Virgo rising, tireless, right? I'm going to perfect my thing, because Virgo rising is always attempting to achieve perfection. So there's that. Okay, cool. We got that. Right? Not bad. What's in the first house? It's Venus. Venus in Virgo. It's interesting, right? Like, that's the first planet we run into. I don't know if he was a great doubles player. I'm not, I know a little bit about tennis, but I can't get real granular on some of these people. I know more about older tennis, like when I was growing up. But it's an interesting planet to have in the first house, right? It's more about relationship. And in this regard, I would say it's about his relationship to perfection. And, taking, 10,000, hits or 10,000 serves or 10,000 volleys, right? Because I can see how this could work in Federer's favor. Because now we're talking about Mars and Cancer. Mars and Cancer is in its detriment. And the sextile to Venus is probably the best aspect of Mars, unless you throw in the square with Pluto. That Pluto square that's kind of intense. And I thought to myself, okay, maybe this Mars Pluto square has this feeling that every shot he plays with feels like life or death, right? And if you're coming from a perfectionist place, then it would. That would crack most people. Like, that would really crack most people. There would be too much pressure. But for whatever reason, that doesn't happen with Federer. And, we're not living inside of him, but that doesn't happen with Federer. Why? Well, I think it has a lot to do with this the Sun, Mercury, Neptune trine, right? That, to me, that's like a release valve. And it represents a degree of fluidity and almost like this kind of natural way to unlock some of this ungodly tension in his chart. Also, Mars does sextile his ascendant. Again, I don't know a lot about his game. I know all these guys have big serves, right? But I would say that with Mars in Cancer sextile the ascendant, that the return game or the volley game would be really important in Federer's chart. Now, if we look at the true node, it's in Leo. And I think that there's something there with that, meaning that it's at the first degree of Leo, by the way. And it's like Leo's about getting to the top. It's like being the big cat. And I think that's also part of what makes Federer is this true node in Leo. And, moving, because, South Node, Aquarius, been there, done that, part of the group, part of the crowd, part of the team. Like, this is a lifetime where he stands out. So I think the true node in Leo is part of the secret of his success. He also has this really interesting Sun, Moon square, Sun, Chiron square, T square. I think he's got something to prove. I think he has something to prove. And I know he's Swiss and he probably comes from money, right? And I think maybe, just maybe, that's what fuels him. Like, he could take the easy way out. And he look, the guy's really good looking, go to a good school, probably get an MBA, probably go work for Credit Suisse, whatever. Right. But I don't think he wants to do that. He's, in some ways, he's in conflict with his roots, which is the moon in Scorpio. And then this Sun square with Chiron is, in a lot of ways, I think his way of fitting in. But fighting against not fitting in and being physical. Chiron and Taurus has a challenging time being here on Earth. So I think when I look at Federer's chart, I think it's fueled in a lot of ways by either resistance or contrast or this idea of perfection, which can take a toll on a person but he seems to have a way of distributing that pressure. And we don't even really know Roger Federer. I mean, let's be honest about this. He has the sun in the 12th house. And I think you could also make a case that a lot of times with people that have sun in the 12th house, they're not seen, right? They're not seen. So being the best in the world is a way for him to be seen. It's a fascinating chart. Like if somebody just threw me this chart to look at, I'll be quite honest with you. I would be fairly unimpressed. But that's why charts and are only a part of the entire process. You have to take into account where a person was born. You have to take into account their family, the time that they're born in, the social milieu. All those things play a role, right? The chart can reveal a lot, like JonBenet Ramsey's chart, right? And the thing about Benet Ramsey's chart is that it's a full stop. Like, she's dead before she's 8. So when you look at that chart, like you see it in a lot of ways in its crystalline purity. And if we looked at Federer's chart, let's say in a different timeline, Federer, dies before the age of 8. We look at this chart and wow, this guy might have had a rough go of it. Right. But squares can change all that. Even that Mars-Saturn square and that Mars-Jupiter square, he's got that Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in Libra. Mars-Saturn squares can make you work your ass off. Right? They can make you work your ass off. Then the results are Jupiter. So it's not like I'm going to work my ass off and not see anything come of it. No, he would. He would. I think Mars is the key planet in this chart. Yeah. That and this weird T-square with the moon and his upbringing. And I think also trying to prove to himself that tennis is the hard way out. It's the hard way out of just being another suit and tie guy at Credit Suisse. All right, there we go. That's Roger Federer. That's our star of the day. Thank you all for being here. I wish you all a very happy Lionsgate. Let out a roar someday, some point along the day, either metaphorically or let out a roar. Join us over on 15. We're getting into Kamala, but oh boy, do I have some Tim Waltz shit to share with you. I have not. I knew that this was out there. I haven't addressed it, and now the receipts are in. And when you hear this, you will not believe what you're hearing. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Have a blessed day. Treat each other well. And you have everything you need inside of you. Bye for now.